Welcome to Fresh Talk Network.
Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine a life where your job is exploring the world, telling these captivating stories, sharing them with millions. Sounds like the absolute dream, right? But what does it really take to make that dream happen? And, what are the hidden hurdles lying just beneath that glossy surface? Today, we're doing a deep dive into the fascinating world of Nadir Nibras. He's a multi-award-winning travel filmmaker, content creator, YouTuber, known as Nadir on the go. You've sent us some great sources, his personal story, a WikiGenius entry, an interview transcript, and even this really powerful piece about the challenges of traveling with a Bangladeshi passport. So our mission here is to pull out the most important bits, those real aha moments from Nadir's journey, give you a shortcut to understanding this complex world of global content creation.
It's really fascinating, isn't it? Because beyond the adventure and the amazing visuals, Nadir's story isn't just about travel. It's really a testament to, incredible passion, sheer perseverance, and also the constant adaptation you need in this rapidly changing digital world. It kind of connects the dots between someone's personal drive and some very real, very tangible global challenges many people might not even think about.
That's a perfect way to frame it. And his journey, as we see in the sources, it started back in Bangladesh, a place where academic achievement is really, really highly valued. Nadir tells this anecdote from his childhood. He desperately wanted a PlayStation 2, and his parents, being pretty pragmatic, said, okay, fine, but you have to finish top 3 in your class this year.
The classic parental condition.
Right. Well, he finished 4th.
Ouch.
No PS2.
A tough lesson early on. But it seems like that kind of structured expectation really shaped his early thinking about careers, didn't it?
Absolutely. His career goals were, all over the place for a while. At 6, he wanted to be a rocket scientist, apparently inspired by Tintin on the moon.
Okay, I like that.
Then psychology, then mechanical engineering, biomedical engineering. And he eventually landed on data science for his graduate studies. But through all of that, the sources suggest this consistent underlying theme. Find a job that pays well enough to let him travel. Because a career in travel, that just wasn't seen as a real option, especially given his background.
That's incredibly relatable for so many people, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, if you zoom out, it reflects that wider societal pressure, especially in certain cultures. Pursue this stable job, doctor, engineer, so you can maybe afford your real passions later. Nadir's path really shows that tension. But what's also clear is that despite all that pressure, his deep curiosity about world history, different cultures, geography, that was always there, simmering away. And eventually, it just won out.
You can see traces of it way back. His first travel memory, a trip to Nepal when he was just 3, sounds almost like foundational. He remembers associating travel with this profound sense of freedom. Freedom from rules, freedom from homework.
And more ice cream, I bet.
Exactly. Freedom to eat more ice cream than usual, he actually said that.
The ultimate childhood dream.
Right. So fast forward to 2016, he's deep in engineering and applied math, serious studies, and that's when he discovers his real passion, capturing stories through travel videos. And here's where it gets really interesting. I think this holds a huge lesson for anyone starting out. For the first 4 years, he had under 100 subscribers.
Wow.
4 years. Think about that. Consistent effort, making stuff purely for the love of doing it with basically zero audience feedback. What does that tell you about the long game?
It's such a powerful counter-narrative to the whole instant success thing we see online, right? His journey there just underscores that real passion, that slow, iterative improvement often comes way before any kind of viral moment. It suggests that if you're not genuinely enjoying the process itself, those early years without an audience, they'd be almost impossible to push through.
Yeah.
Just kept going because he loved it.
And that dedication, that belief in the process was about to pay off. Big time. The major turning point, kind of unexpectedly, was the COVID-19 lockdown in 2020. He used that forced downtime not to, sit around, but to really intensively work on his filmmaking skills. And that's when things finally started to click, started going viral. By 2025, he built this massive following, over 9 million supporters across YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, both in English and, crucially, in Bangla.
Okay, so that persistence is clear. But what was the actual trigger? What was the secret sauce that took him from under 100 subs to 9 million? Did the sources point to anything specific?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? And the sources really highlight one key strategic move: expanding into Bangla content. Apparently, a high school friend had been telling him for a while, you should make stuff in Bangla. Nadir was, skeptical. didn't think it would work.
But he gave it a shot anyway.
He did. He made what he called a practice vlog, kind of on a whim. He just read an old article he found online about countries you can travel to with a Bangladeshi passport, but he read it in Bangla. And that video just blew up. Overnight, he jumped from like 300 subscribers to over 1,000 almost instantly.
Incredible.
It totally validated this idea of tapping into this huge underserved market. I mean, Bengali is the 6th most spoken first language globally.
That's a perfect example of finding your niche, maybe even accidentally, and then really delivering for that audience. That one video didn't just bring viewers, it opened up a whole new direction for him.
And the surprises kept coming. His experience with Facebook monetization is just wild. He noticed Facebook seemed to be burying his YouTube links, right? So he started uploading directly. And then Facebook just tells him, hey, you've qualified for monetization. He hadn't even aimed for it. He actually says he made more money from Facebook ads than YouTube in those first couple of years.
Wow. That's serendipity meeting strategy right there. Just paying attention to how platforms work, how audiences behave, and adapting. It shows how quickly things change online.
Absolutely. So with this massive growth, this unexpected income, he makes the huge decision. Leave the PhD, leave the master's, go full-time on content creation. His supervisor, maybe sensing which way the wind was blowing, actually offered him a sabbatical, predicted he wouldn't come back to academia.
And was the supervisor right?
Totally right. 3 months into creating full-time, the returns were so much better, and he was enjoying it so much more. He knew there was no going back to that windowless biomedical research lab he mentioned.
It's a great story of trusting your gut. How did his family take such a big shift?
The sources say his dad was supportive right away, which is fantastic. His mom took a bit more convincing, but eventually came around once she saw the success he was having.
Yeah, visible success can definitely change minds, especially when it challenges those, traditional expectations.
Okay, so while Nadir's life looked like this amazing dream on screen, beautiful places, constant adventure, the sources also reveal this really stark and sometimes heartbreaking reality, especially around his passport.
Yeah.
His Bangladeshi passport. Get this. In just 1 year, he faced 7 visa rejections out of 17 applications. 7.
17 applications in 1 year. That alone tells you something.
Right. And the rejections came from all over. Bahrain, Italy, Cambodia, Vietnam, Singapore, Tajikistan, the Netherlands. Different official reasons given, but reading between the lines, there seems to be a common thread.
This is where his story really gets into those bigger global issues, beyond just nice travel shots. What Nadir himself explains, quite candidly according to the sources, is that the root cause often boils down to this wider issue. Some Bangladeshi nationals overstaying visas or using tourist visas to try and migrate illegally. And that pattern, unfortunately, has eroded trust. It leads to intense scrutiny for all Bangladeshi applicants, even someone like Nadir, who is a well-known, legitimate creator with documented income and plans.
It's incredibly unfair for people following the rules, and he's quite critical, actually, of this misconception that illegal migration is some guaranteed path to a better life. He points out how it seriously damages Bangladesh's reputation internationally, and hurts the value of the passport for everyone.
And it wasn't just abstract. He gave specific examples of how this directly impacted him, right?
He did. Indonesia stopping visa-free access for Bangladeshis entirely because of some high-profile cases of people trying to migrate illegally by boat to Malaysia, or Vietnam rejecting his application for a 40-day trip because they found it, quote, unreliable that a Bangladeshi could genuinely afford a trip like that, despite all his documentation.
Well, even with his profile and proven means.
Yeah. And the Netherlands rejection mentioned unreliable information about his purpose of stay. This was even though he provided everything: detailed funds, income proof, tax papers, flight bookings, hotel bookings, a full itinerary, including music festivals. He explained that festival tickets are often bought last minute, which maybe didn't fit their model. But the rejection letter itself specifically noted, Sweden has a restrictive visa policy towards applicants holding citizenship in Bangladesh. So they linked it to this broader national perception.
Right. So it wasn't even just about his specific application details at that point.
Seems like it. And Tajikistan rejected him too. Around the time, there were news reports suggesting some Bangladeshis were allegedly using Tajikistan as a route to get into Russia illegally. It's this constant, frustrating uphill battle based on the actions of others.
Those examples just powerfully show how these big, systemic issues, totally outside one person's control, can create huge barriers.
Yeah.
It turns travel from, an exciting prospect into this administrative nightmare often a really disheartening one, too.
And the challenges weren't just external, like visas. He also faced some pretty significant emotional struggles. He talks about experiencing depression during the Hawaii lockdown in 2020. I mean, his entire social life, his career, everything built around travel just stopped dead. He later released this really honest viral video called "This Isn't My Real Life."
I think I remember hearing about that one.
Yeah, he explained that, okay, the beautiful moments in his videos, they were real snippets. But behind the scenes, he was really struggling with his mental health. And being in a beautiful place like Hawaii didn't magically fix it.
That touches on such an important point about authenticity online, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Especially for creators showing this kind of dream life.
Yeah.
Maybe not everyone needs to share every single struggle, but it sounds like Nadir felt a responsibility to say, look, what you see is curated. The reality is often way more complex. It's a vital reminder, I think.
Absolutely. Adds that crucial human layer. So, okay, shifting gears a bit to the business side of Nadir on the Go. With this huge audience, all these experiences, how do you actually turn that passion into a sustainable business? That brings its own set of challenges, right? Like scaling up, delegation.
Exactly. The sources show he hit that point pretty quickly where he realized he was the bottleneck. Doing everything himself wasn't scalable. So after about 2 years of going full time, he started delegating, which is, a common hurdle for solo creators. He actually trained his first hire to be an operations manager, someone to handle the non-creative stuff, compiling analytics reports for sponsors, managing the sheer volume of uploads. You mentioned 3,500 uploads total.
Yeah, 3,500 across all platforms. That's not just one guy with a camera anymore. That's basically a small media company.
It really is. And if you look at how creative businesses scale, that's often the path. Delegate the repetitive tasks, the admin, but keep your hands on the core creative elements. Nadir, according to the sources, still does the scripting and the main editing himself. That protects his unique voice. And having his team based mostly in Dhaka makes total sense given half his content is in Bengali and a lot of sponsors are from Bangladesh. It's smart. Strategic.
That makes a lot of sense. And this commitment to doing both English and Bangla content seems really central to his identity and strategy. He finds it personally fulfilling, but it's also smart business, reaching diverse audiences. He made an interesting point, though. While he grew up in Bangladesh, he feels he expresses himself better in English for what he called sophisticated things.
Like philosophy or talking about depression.
Exactly. Concepts he mainly encountered and processed as an adult, living in the U.S. It says something interesting about language and how we, frame complex ideas based on where and when we learn them.
That's a fascinating insight into the mind of a bilingual creator. Our languages can sort of segment how we articulate different parts of ourselves.
And his production process sounds intense. He scripts using bullet points mostly, often narrating on the spot in both languages, English first, then Bangla. But for really key moments like intros, he'll write it all out in both languages and rehearse it. He wants it to look off the cuff, spontaneous, but achieving that takes a ton of prep work.
It's that classic making it look easy scenario, the effort behind the perceived effortlessness.
Totally. And his content strategy is incredibly detailed. He really hammers home the importance of finding a niche. Being a Bangladeshi travel creator was his starting point. He says packaging is everything on YouTube, spends 2 to 3 hours a day just on research. He keeps this massive Google Doc, 150 pages of research, 400 ranked titles.
Wow. That's serious dedication to optimization.
Isn't it? And he uses different titles, different narratives for his English versus his Bangla audiences because they respond differently. He mentioned a specific video about East Timor where he had to tailor the story completely differently for each market.
That level of detail, the constant research, testing titles, that's what really separates the casual hobbyist from someone building a proper media business. It's not just about the filming, it's understanding audience psychology.
Right. And interestingly, even though he won TikTok Creator of the Year, a short-form platform, he says he still prioritizes long-form content. He feels he tells stories better in that 20 to 40-minute range. That's where his passion for storytelling really lies. It's kind of countercultural in this era of super short clips.
It reinforces that idea that deep connection, real storytelling often needs more time, more room to breathe than short form allows. He's playing the long game with his content, just like he did in those early years with hardly any viewers.
Exactly. So with all this travel, filming, editing, strategy, how does he keep going? How does he avoid burnout living this nomadic life? He mentions balancing the intense filming periods with what he calls base periods, like 2 or 3 months in familiar places, Serbia, Bali, Sri Lanka, the Philippines, maybe his parents' place.
So building in periods of stability and routine.
Yeah, exactly. To have some routine, some community, recharge before the next big trip. He apparently hasn't had a single permanent base since 2020. All his stuff is just in storage somewhere.
What a way to live.
It's about finding that sustainable rhythm, isn't it? Within what looks like a really chaotic and demanding lifestyle from the outside.
It really is. His whole story becomes this kind of masterclass in resilience, in strategic thinking, but also in just finding a personal balance that works, however unconventional it looks. It's not just about the places he goes, it's about the journey of building that life.
What an incredible deep dive into the world of Nadir Nibras, seriously. From that winding academic path to building this global media operation, we've really seen how passion, smart thinking, and just sheer resilience can reshape a life, and even push back against some tough geopolitical realities.
Indeed. His story really highlights the power of one individual, not just to chase their dreams, but also to be incredibly candid about the challenges. From the frustrating politics of passports to the vital importance of mental health, even in a life that looks amazing online. It's such a powerful testament to the idea that real success, maybe true fulfillment, often comes from actually enjoying the process, loving the work itself, even when the audience is tiny or the path forward seems blocked.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? In this world that's all about digital connection, blurring borders. How do we balance our own ambitions with these bigger global realities? And maybe how much of our real selves are we actually sharing or seeing?
And that raises a question for you, listening right now. Where can you find your unique niche? What's the thing you truly enjoy doing? And how can you use that dedication, that passion for the process to navigate the complexities of your own journey? Even when the path isn't clear and the world throws unexpected hurdles your way, what's your Nadir on the go moment waiting to happen?